Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Storm Collectibles Golden X GILIUS Thunderhead. This is the third of the main trio of the main characters of the main game, Golden X, which I quite enjoy, and I'm glad to be reviewing these for you guys. Would you like me to review the bad guys too? Any of them? I'm thinking about maybe getting Death Adder. I don't know. I don't know if I need them. They seem to be really branching out. By the way, these guys are exclusively sold at Big Bad Toy Store going forward. Storm Collectibles needed a distributor since they are no longer working with Bluefin. Big Bad Toy Stores is the distributor slash online retailer since they do their own retail for Storm. So going forward, you got to go to Big Bad Toy Store, which I recommend anyway. I love that company. Best customer service for an online collector shop ever in my experience. So there is a link in the description below. But yeah, they have a bunch of guys coming out, new bad guys and stuff. I don't know if I'm going to get that deep into it. Let me know what you guys think. So let's go ahead and get this guy off the stand and take a closer look before I keep rambling. This guy stands, not counting the top of his horns because they're slightly taller, about 16.75 centimeters, and that's going to make him roughly, we'll say 6 5/8 inches. He's not super tall, he's fairly short. We'll do a couple of quick comparisons for you here. Here he is up against Darwin. He's a little bit taller. Let me grab the other two from this property. The other two main guys. There he is, and here she is. Okay, so size-wise, I think he's pretty good. They all have different skin tones. I guess that was intentional to make them stand out a little bit, and I kind of like it. They're going to look good on a shelf together. All right, let's do a quick question of the day. I know I've already asked you guys a few different questions about your main characters and such. Let me ask you this. Are you guys going to go in and get like the bad guys too, or were you good with just getting the 3 mains? Let me know. And maybe if you guys are doing it, I'll be peer pressured into doing it myself in order to make reviews. Okay, so aesthetically speaking, I really like the proportioning on this guy. I think they nailed it. They nailed the buff short guy look perfectly. The head is the right size. If it was smaller, it would just look like a smaller figure of a big guy, but the head is appropriately large for a small stature person like this. He's got the larger feet, the squattier overall proportions. Very, very pleased with the way this looks. I like that they did the texture on the tunic. That's very nice. The skin tone's nice. Oh, Storm Collectibles are always nice and matte finished. The nice, very bright silver paint job on the horns on his helmet. I like that. There's shading throughout the hair. I think the face is really well done. I love the way this guy looks. He might be my favorite of the bunch. I'm not into dwarfs particularly, but he is a really nice, appealing looking figure. He's going to look really good on a shelf. Even though he doesn't have the joint visible right here, he does still have, I think he has the same articulation that you would normally expect. It's just hidden under the tunic. I can't say 100% sure, but it feels like it. Anyway, we'll get to that later. The tunic is all one piece of what I was getting at, so that looks nice at the top anyway. Yeah, aesthetically speaking, I'm going to give this guy a 9. I think he looks really, really good. They nailed the look for this guy perfectly. Almost perfectly. Okay, as far as accessories go, we have an alternate head. We have the stern head that comes on him in the package. Then we have one where he's got his mouth open. Very nicely done. I like that. For hands, we have the 2 fist hands that come on him in the package. Then we get 2 gripping hands and then 2 style pose hands of some variety. So that's good enough. We do get his axe, as you already saw. Really nice, very bright silver paint job with a little bit of shading on it to make it pop. I like that. And then unfortunately, he doesn't get a dragon because he just doesn't get a dragon in the game. He gets this goofy looking chicken-like dragon bird lizard thing that is just ridiculous, and it really takes away from the character design a bunch if you ask me. But it's game accurate, so you get this purpley pink chicken lizard head leg. I don't know what the heck this is, but Storm did make it look appropriate. It's got a bendy tail, so that's cool. Otherwise, you can bend the legs a little bit, but not a whole lot. And it doesn't even have, like, reins to hold it. He just sits on top of it, and it looks super goofy, but it looked super goofy in the game. No one liked it. Second question of the day, did anyone like this thing as opposed to the little dragons? Because this is goofy looking, but he does come with it, so it counts as an accessory. So accessory-wise, 9 out of 10. No effect part of any kind, and I think he should have some kind of effect part, even if it's just like a swoosh or something would have been nice, since the dragons both got fire. Okay, let's talk about the articulation on this guy. It's standard Storm for the most part. Oh, by the way, someone asked me the other day on the Tyrus Flare review, they said something, or they didn't ask me, they just said, her head sits too low on the body, which is true for a lot of Storm figures, but the thing is, the Storm figures have just cylindrical openings in the head. They're not actually socketed for a ball peg. So what you can do is just not put the head down all the way. And you might get a little bit of gapping. His happens to fit. But you can also just wiggle it up on the joint just a little bit. Like you can't really tell that there's extra gapping, but you can definitely adjust the neck on Storm figures by just sliding the head up a little bit. So pro tip for you. So let's see. Someone told me I was wrong about Tyra's Flare, that her neck thing didn't actually have a joint at the bottom. His definitely does. He's got a ball peg at the bottom, so you can lean it and then the neck will flex with it. So if you want to do that, you can. It's easier to do it like this and then pop the head on so you're not scratching paint and stuff. But it does have the double ball peg for the neck. Let's look at Tyrus real quick. Let's see. He told me he took it apart, and so she doesn't actually have a joint. Yeah, he's right. It is connected to the skeleton. So I'll also show you this. Don't put the head on quite all the way, and it'll sit higher and look better. So you can even pull it up a little bit more if you want, and it'll look even better. It's totally up to you. All right, let's get back to this guy. So let's see how his shoulders function. Same as always, ball peg connecting to the body. The cap floats around in there nicely. Hinge makes it pop off because there's not that much room, apparently. So you can only get up to horizontal, not too much higher. He's just got too big a bulky shoulder and it can't go anywhere, I guess. But otherwise, that's fine. Popped off. By the way, these Golden Axe figures have the creamiest joints Storm has put out in a long time. I haven't had really any trouble. It's very nice. I like that. So yeah, you get your full rotation. Bicep swivel is tight. Storm biceps are always like that, but it is there, so that's okay. Double jointed elbow, just 90 degrees. I really wish Storm would give us a little bit better elbow range. Sacrifice the sculpt a little bit for better range. Just take away a little bit more bicep meat there, just a little bit, and we can get plenty of range out of that. A little bit out of the forearm too, and we'd be golden. Okay, so these guys are actually separate floating pieces, whereas the other two had them sculpted on, so that hides the joint nicely. But you do get your ball hinge in there, so that's pretty cool. And they don't really move too much, but they are separate pieces, so that's all right. And then for the torso, like I said, it feels like all the joints are in there. It feels like there's a double ball peg in between these two pieces, but practically speaking, you're not going to do anything with it. It just can't go anywhere because of the way the tunic is. So count the articulation for the torso as nil. It's in there, but you're not going to be able to do much with it. For the hips, they did split the tunic, so we should be able to get them. Yeah, we can get the legs out pretty far. They did a good job splitting that tunic because there's still plenty of material there, and it splits nicely. So very, very well done on that. Love that. Oh, we have the classic ball peg style hips on this guy. That's interesting. Okay. They're not super loose. I'll take it. That's fine by me. They could be a little tighter, but that's all right. They go pretty far forward. Ooh, cake alert. I mean, it's a little bit weird. Definitely a little bit weird. But this guy's got some cake. We don't do reviews on cake often outside of McFarlane reviews, but he's got it, so I have to give him points. But the legs do go back. There is a nice thigh swivel, of course. Double jointed knees. Just a little bit better than 90. And then the ankles, I'm guessing they go back and they don't go forward. Let's see. Yeah, they don't really go forward. Storms almost never do. Decent enough. Ankle rocker. There is no swivel at the boot. And then the toe hinge is acceptable, actually. It's fairly far forward and fairly sturdy. So, not bad. There could be a few improvements here and there, but it is definitely acceptable. I wish the torso, frankly, had been cut at the tunic. It would look less good, but you could pose it better, so I prefer it, but this is alright. I'll give the articulation on this guy a 7. There's nothing extraordinary, but it's definitely good enough. So, now it's time for the final verdict. Much like the other Golden Axe figures, it's not perfect, but it's a heck of a lot of fun. It looks really good, and I don't think anybody that buys these is going to be disappointed. Anybody that buys these, did I say that wrong? I think I did, is going to be disappointed. They're just really well done overall figures. A lot of fun. They look good. They're well made. I'm going to give it an overall rating of 9 out of 10. I don't know what else to say. Like, yeah, it could be better slightly here and there, but it's what it's supposed to be. I'm very, very pleased with these from Storm. I was not expecting them to be good, honestly. Compared to the fighting game figures, they kind of seemed like... I mean, just from the photos, they didn't look like they were going to be made that well, but they are. They're really, really well done. So I'm super pleased. I hope you guys are too. There it is, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you might want to. I have new videos almost every single day and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.